play the Italian folk songs, and music was a big part of our life, poetry, literature, all that, and a lot of love. So those are our traditions, my traditions, that I like to keep alive in my own following of the ethnic voices. And if you get a copy, I do hope that you will read it. And I know people tend to not read introductions, but please read my introduction. You ever read the newspaper and the reporter says, "Oh, I wonder who reads this column?" And then they might get a couple of responses. And writers always wonder is, who reads it anyway? Because you get such scant response. And people don't know how important response is. To me, that's another thing that is indicative of good poetry. What poetry is, actually, it's a response. It's a response to something. But anyway, the room is filling up. Renee, you may have to get more chairs. But anyway, we should probably move on. And Mel is going to come later. So Maria, would you like to start? Sure. Okay. Maria, Fama.
I'll go behind you.
Rosemary, can I say one thing just very quickly?
Sure.
To anybody who's reading tonight, we are taping this, and we hope to put it on our YouTube channel, but if you don't mind us using your reading, if I have a paper on my desk after the reading, if you could just sign it. If you elect not to sign it, that's fine, we just won't use it. So if you're okay with it, if you would just sign a consent form, that would be great. Thank you.
Okay. So Maria Fama is the author of 6 books of poetry. Her most recent is Mystics in the Family from Bordighera Press. She reads her poetry in the films Prisoners Among Us, Pipes of Peace, and Shepherd's Way. Maria lives in Philadelphia with Dolly, her architect cat, who sings while creating her constructions. Maria?
Thanks so much for putting this together, Rosemary. It's really a beautiful book. I was reading it again, and I'm so honored to be among such wonderful poets in here. It's really, really a treat to be with you. I'm going to start with Sicilia. 3 poems, right? Each. Sicilia. I'm Sicilian, and I've been to Sicily many times and met my relatives and all. My family's all from the same little town in Sicily. So this is called Sicilia. The volcano's creature are you, land of the sea and mountain face. How many sought to have you in your fragrance? How many did you tempt with your honeysuckle bloom? Your beauty lavish with orange fruit and jasmine air. Who could resist you, babe, ever in rainbowed seas? Land, to you they came to take from you their fill. Turbaned or armored, black or blonde, togaed, striped or wool, they came to take you. But your anger sucked their blood. You shook their homes, their bones with quakes. You cracked their boats on your sharpened sides. Your wind breath blew away their homes, threw their crops into sparkling seas. As your beauty smiled, they roasted and they froze. Hypnotized, they stayed. Drugged by beauty, they stayed. Exhausted by sweat, they stayed. And your mountain face has carved your image on these people, too wise to trust, too old to change, too bitter to regret. The sameness of all centuries, they know, your children. They know hot winds come and the sun burns. The tempests freeze, the land slides, ships sink, blood spills and is wet. They, like you, smile. They, like you, are harsh. Oh, I'll give you the page numbers. Yeah. The next, thank you. The next page I'm going to read is page 16. It's called Tableback. In my family, they had this love-hate relationship with America. They would go back and forth, and almost over like 70 years, back and forth to the coal mines, and then go back to Sicily. They were homesick, so they went back, but then they felt they could make some money here, so they went back. So back and forth. So even in my great-grandfather's time, he had been here, but then went back. So this is called Tableback. My great-grandfather, Giuseppe Bongiovanni, bent at a right angle from arthritis, joked that his family could place their bread and olives upon his back as they farmed the hot Sicilian fields. When my great-grandfather, Pietro, returned from America, in a suit with a bowler hat and shiny black shoes, he rushed to the mountainside plot where his father was bent over the land. Giuseppe saw only creased black pants and expensive shoes coming toward him. "Va!" called Pietro. "Voci," answered Giuseppe, addressing him formally with great deference. "Ah, sono io, tuo figlio." Giuseppe lifted his head, looked into Pietro's ruddy face with the waxed mustache. He recognized his son's sea blue eyes under a rich man's hat. "Figlio mio," he smiled. Pietro bent down to kiss Giuseppe's grizzled cheeks. They walked slowly home, Pietro holding the calloused hand of his table-back father. And the last one that I will read is on page 20. And it's called "QUANNU QUANNU," and it means whenever. Right now, I'm working on a collection, manuscript, on sayings in Sicilian or Italian that I heard growing up. And some of them have such meaning. But anyway, this one is called "QUANNU QUANNU," and my family always said it. "Quannu quannu nesce fra santo." Whenever Fra Santo went out, when we heard these words from parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, we knew that we good people had gone out from our homes for a special occasion, only to have fate deal us a nasty blow. Late trains, thunderstorms, headaches, sick children, flat tires. "Quannu quannu," that is all they had to say. We knew what it meant. Fra Santo was a Sicilian monk who met disasters whenever he left the monastery. "Quannu quannu nesce Fra Santo." Whenever Fra Santo went out, he'd fall and break a leg. A tree limb would knock him unconscious. An earthquake struck. The bridge washed out. His donkey fainted. "Quannu quannu nesce Fra Santo." My parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, my brothers, and me, when we ventured outside our homes for a special occasion, we became like Fra Santo. "Quannu quannu." Halfway to an out-of-town wedding, our car packed with 7 fancy-dressed people broke down. "Quannu quannu" at the graduation party, at the birthday party, at the anniversary party. Dizziness, a migraine, nausea, strep throat, bronchitis, influenza would strike. "Quannu quannu" on a paid vacation to Williamsburg, my father's crippling gout flared up. "Quannu quannu" viewing the mosaics of Piazza Armerina, my mother suffered violent cramps. "Quannu quannu" during a visit to Niagara Falls, my brother got trench mouth. "Quannu quannu" on my way to my book reception and reading, the bus stalled for 3 hours outside the Lincoln Tunnel. "Quannu quannu nesce Fra Santo." Snowstorms, car crashes, hurricanes. "Quannu quannu" any of us goes out from our homes, fate lies in wait. No, 16 hours. I could not stop happy.
Thank you so much, Maria. Quannu quannu. Okay. Our next